Hello, ladies and gents, as we are back for AEW Collision review for last night. Again, not solid show from Collision. It's although the ratings might not reflect it, and people, that's what they want to hang on. Collision has been very good since its debut. First episode, they knocked out of the park, and not as good, but still consistently good. Above the spectrum, which you like to see. You like to see consistency. If you want people to really pay attention to this as the expected number 2 show to Dynamite. Some may even consider it the number 1 over Dynamite, just based on quality. But nonetheless, another very good show for Collision. Not much to go over before the review. We did have big thing with Ricky Starks and CM Punk to open, and then Starks in the main event tag team match teaming with Christian Cage versus CM Punk and Darby Allin. Wins again the way he won last week, using the ropes for leverage. Clearly, now, based on last week, there was one of two ways they could go about it. Starks being a heel or Punk being a heel, as, they were in New Jersey, and alas, the Heat or New Jersey nonetheless has been very well. Overall, we've gotten mixed reactions of CM Punk since he's returned. And I mean, look, you could arguably just pull the trigger and put him as heel, but you wonder if the network and AEW probably want otherwise. That's probably why they've been hesitant, if I had to guess. But there's that. It seems like they're going the other way for Starks. Perhaps being a tweener, leaning a bit towards the heel side, which, I mean, look, Starks is over. We know that. Push is very much needed. If they fumbled his momentum coming out of the MJF feud, now giving him the Owen Hart tournament and the Owen Hart Cup, the confidence and the momentum seems like it's picking back up, which you like to see. A heel Ricky Starks, don't need him to be held, but you know, I see him more as a tweener, with just the reactions he gets. So, we'll see. But yeah, we got that. We got Billy Gunn. I will say he so in the show we had a trios titles match with the House of Black versus the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn. And after Billy Gunn, first, Malachi Black whispered something in Billy Gunn's ear, which, you don't really see that much. Goes to his character, but then he saw after that Billy Gunn took off his boots and left them in the ring. So perhaps the last match we've seen of Billy Gunn, credit his physique, nearing his 60s, and he looks as good as he does. Kudos to him. But, the Acclaimed are much better as a team and very much add to that division. You still kind of wish they never lost the titles to the Guns, or they could at least have put more behind it. But either way, this signaling they could be back in tag team division, or maybe this is where Billy Gunn turns on the Acclaimed in some way. I don't know, but it's a thought. But yeah, no room to go off of. But anyways, thank you guys. Guys are new, of course, subscribe is there somewhere on the channel, and click that subscribe button as well. I may start going live or do a live stream sometime soon. So keep that in mind. But we'll see. Certainly to change up just a little bit, a live stream perhaps would help. But either way, thank you guys, and let's get into the review, shall we? So, show started off with Ricky Starks, I mentioned. So, they went over the match last week in the finals of the Owen Hart Cup between Starks and Punk, where Starks grabbed the ropes for leverage. So it looks weird for Bryce Rensburg, claiming he didn't see it. But nonetheless, Tony Schiavone was in the ring, and he welcomed Ricky Starks, who got a lot of pyro, which would make Cody Rhodes jealous. Cody Rhodes or Charlotte Flair jealous, per se. Either way, it was a good welcoming of the Owen Hart Cup champion. But he was in the ring. He was asked about last week. Talked about he did what anyone else in here would have done. And that he's here to win by any means necessary. And he was talking. It sounded a bit like a heel promo, but the crowd loved him. So he was like, sexy I am, look how great looking I am. And homage Punk and the red bag. So he was like, he had a bag with him, and he's like, everyone wants to know what's in the red bag, or what's in his bag. He's like, nothing, I just want to show off my bag. New bag. So, good looking one. So, he talked about the compliment of being compared to Four Pillars, and that's great, but he stands on his own. And then, after a little bit, CM Punk came out with no music, which is a nice touch. Just came out by himself. So he came out and dressed Starks, and he's kind of relieved, kind of happy. Starks did what he did. Saying how, but he talked about New Jersey crowd saying, well, I think people have cheated as well in their entire life. And he talked about the New Jersey Devils not being able to get out of the first round. So that kind of riled up the crowd. It's weird for CM Punk. I mean, yeah, mixed, per se. So, he says he can live with a loss, but yes, Sarks, can you be able to live with not being able to beat me without cheating? So, he was about to leave, and then Sarks brought something about the red bag. And Ronald Punk, and he came back, asked Ricky, do you want a shot at what's in the bag? Saying he's the real world champion. So that's a more conclusion as to what, if there was any doubt of what's in the bag, then we pretty much know. So, all of a sudden we hear Christian Cage. And so Christian is like to CM Punk, what kind of man carries around a belt that he didn't win? Hence Christian Cage holding the TNT Championship. That was hilarious. But yeah, I love Christian, these three guys. So they talked about being the face of TNT, and they don't want to be in New Jersey any longer. Call them Sweat Hogs. So as they're about to leave, Darby Allin comes out of nowhere, grabs the mic out of Christian's hand, comes in the ring. Now, for those who don't know, those who want to watch Rampage, Darby Allin won Royal Rampage on Friday. It's that big 2-ring bell royal for a title shot. And the winner would receive a title shot all out for the Team Championship. So, alas, we're going to get Luchasaurus versus Darby at All Out, which that would be very good. Interesting dynamic between, obviously, Big Luchasaurus and Darby Allin. Excuse me. So he was in the ring. Basically understood what Sarge was saying. Saying he doesn't want to really be a pillar. Saying he wants to be his own. And talked about his good friend CM Punk. Talked to smack to Luchasaurus. So during one of them on, so finally they announced a tag team match where it would be Darby and Punk versus Starks and the TNT champion. And Christian represents himself in a way, or parades himself around as TNT champion. So he's like, yeah, I'll be in. So Christian Cage and Ricky Starks versus CM Punk and Darby in the main event. I think Punk's been the main event every week thus far, except for next week. Because next week is probably going to be FTR versus MJF and Adam Cole. The way it seems. So, yeah. Then where are my notes? And then, yeah. AEW needs like a GM presence. I mean, can't always be just like, Khan announced stuff and Tony Schiavone's ear, and then yeah, it's not great, but that's my only critique. Next up, Bullet Club Gold, who have been great thus far on Collision. It was Juice Robinson and Jay White with the Gun Club behind them. Versus Action Andretti and Darius Martin. This was a nice tag team match here. Good to see. I'm not sure if they were injured or something. But let's get to see Bullet Club Gold in full effect again. Or maybe they just want them to distract ourselves or from the great matches we've seen the last couple weeks, or I don't know. But either way, it's good to see Bullet Club Gold in full effect again. And like I said, the match was fine. You know, Andrea, I will say it's nice giving. I mean, obviously we want Top Flight together again, but Action Andretti and Darius make a nice pairing, I will say. So, Andretti was knocked down on the outside by Juice, I believe, caught him with the elbow. Martin, so the Guns were talking smack on the outside, and all of a sudden, Darius gets frustrated. Yeah, Darius got frustrated, and out from behind, Jay White shoves him into the barricade, and then we go to break there. So, back in the ring, big comeback by Darius and Andre. It's a high cross body by off the top for a near fall. Knocked Jay to the outside of the clothesline. Big moonsault by Andre on both Juice and Jay. They hit like a drop kick German suplex for a near fall. Looked a bit hunky, but afterwards, Jay and Juice, they isolated Darius in the middle ring. Juice hit the left hand from God, followed with his big implant DT. Jay White hit the Blade Runner, 1, 2, 3, and Bullet Club Gold get back on the winning effort after losing that grueling 1 hour 2 or 3 falls match for FTR last week. I would imagine, or I would hope, I mean, we'll see. They get another match versus FTR. Maybe at Allin or something. But something to keep in mind. Keep in mind. So, next up, we got Miro. Well, there was a segment of Andrade El Idolo. Good for Nigel McGuinness being able to pronounce his name right, finally. But apparently, he was in the back in management. Because the trios match earlier, and they opted he not be allowed in the building. So security escorted him out, pretty much. Miro. He went one-on-one with big Nick Comrotto of the factory. It's good to see a little bit of change up for Miro as far as the match, I will say. I mean, little differences. Little different. I mean, of course, we want Miro in a story, but as for now, as long as we don't get the same, like, jobber squash matches every week. So, Miro was making his entrance, and comrotto attacked Miro on the stage. Attacked him, got him in the ring. He actually held him up against Turnbuckle many times, and he had Miro on the ropes, actually. He had like a reverse Death Valley driver on Miro, but only for one. So, finally, Miro got the advantage, rebounded, hit a Machka kick out of nowhere on comrotto. Follow up with game over. And comrotto, after a bit, tapped out and verbal submission, and Miro once again wins on Collision, undefeated since his turn. So we had a video package of FTR and their pretty much year they have just had. What they've done, and ahead as they address their challengers for next week, later tonight. So we'll see. House of Black versus The Acclaimed and Mill Gunn. Daddy ass, what everyone say. AEW Trios Championships on the line. They quoted that they claimed in the yes 9-1 in the last 10 matches together. So, their eyes, they earned this match. Wasn't much. Of course, we didn't see a lot of those matches televised, but nonetheless. I mean, we did see some, but at my point. So, the house. Max Caster was about to rap on Buddy Matthews during his entrance, and I guess Buddy was not going to have it, as all of a sudden we just see Buddy Matthews sprint to the outside and give a big knee, running knee to Max Caster's face, and the fight was onward from there. And yep, you just had a feeling that, you know, something was probably going to be said about Dominic Mysterio or Rhea Ripley. I think there was even Dirty Dom chants in the crowd on Saturday, which was hilarious. Anywho, so the match was alright. wasn't very long. So Brody, he attacked on both Bowens and go on the outside, hitting them both with rolling cannonballs. Again, up against Barricade, which basically Gunn was out for the majority of the match. But then tried to make a comeback. Not too much. And then big lariat by Brody. Black mask by Black on Billy for the win. And of course, House of Black retained. Afterwards, Malachi Black whispered something in the ear of Billy Gunn. Again, something that was unexpected, so you know something might have been up. So then, all of a sudden, after they leave up the ramp, we see Billy Gunn start taking his boots off. And of course, if you know pro wrestling, you know that's a sign that some guy's probably going to call it quits or hang him up. So Billy Gunn, he took off his boots and left him in the ring. So there was that. I mean, like I said earlier, you know, Billy Gunn, one of the best to ever do it. You know, his sons, you know, really where the family tree is headed. Currently, They're doing a very good job thus far, and yeah, seems like this may be. Billy may still be in the back. He just may not wrestle. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Anywho, next up, FTR. They were in the ring. Talked about challenges of. Well, first, talked about some teams they had been prior. Talked about the Acclaimed and Young Bucks. And yet they have this blind eliminator tournament. And them. Now, so he, of course, got some double clothesline chance. And Dax was like, yeah, how about double clothesline too? So he talked about, or Cash did, talked about their time in the Pinnacle with Max, saying how they got to know him and that brought the quote of their good friend CM Punk and Max Cat or MJF as well, that the greatest thing the devil ever did was making you believe he didn't exist. And thus he's doing it again. So, and next week they're going to show him what they haven't been shown. They talked about comedy, this and that. So then next week they're going to give him an ass whoop. Top guys out. I mean, about as much that needs to be said. So, yeah. Simple. I mean, I hope. I mean, I'm assuming we're still getting FTR and Bullet Cup Gold one more time. I'm assuming. I mean, could I see MJF and Cole win the titles next week? Yes, but it would feel odd. I mean, I would just be like, why didn't you take the... It would have been better off if they Bullet Cup Gold won the titles last week. Instead of MJF and Cole win the titles next week. So, that's just my thoughts. But, yeah, I mean, it's weird because they have 2 shows next month to build towards. All In and All Out. So far, only one match has been really announced for... Now, we still have a month, but only one match has been announced for either of those. And Darby Allin versus Luchasaurus for the TNT title for All Out. So we'll see. Sky Blue versus Taya Valkyrie. Short match here. Decent, Sky Blue's improving. We can definitely say that. She's working way up as far as in ring and getting better. And they're showcasing her very much. Taya Valkyrie, she's okay. Um, Her run as a whole has not been great, to be honest. But we know she can work. Um, so yeah. Um, but match is alright. Blew it cross body for a nice near fall off top. Taya, she had Sky Blue wedge in the middle of the ropes. She hit the sliding German suplex on Skye. Hit the face stomp. For the win, and Ty gets the victory. A little surprised, but will not. Anywho, so afterwards, she called out Britt Baker for a match on Dynamite. Hmm. Bit random, but I don't know. But we got a match for Dynamite, it seems. Britt, Ty. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but we'll see. Christian Cage and Rick Starks versus Darby Allin, CM Punk was the main event. Very good, very good main event. But you know how good these four guys are. So picking up. So prior to the commercial break, Darby had a coffin drop to the outside on both. Starks and Christian Cage. Which, by the way, Christian wearing the freaking turtleneck again to wrestle. And he's got a freaking turtleneck chant. I mean, it's hilarious. So, Starks is on his version of old school. Darby hit the big tag. Hit big code red for near fall. So, he hit one Suicida on Starks on the outside. Went on the other side for Christian, but Luchasaurus was in the way and just belted. He just reflected off of Luchasaurus and then, yeah. Yeah. So, Darby was shoved into the announce table at the bottom of it by Christian. Ricky back in the ring. He had a snake eyes fall with a nice lariat on Darby for a near fall. Punk was in the ring. He had a Pepsi twist on Christian for a 2 count. Then he went for a high up bowl off the top for a 2. Darby and Starks back in the ring. Ricky caught Darby with a midair spear, kind of looked like. Then in a Rochambeau, but only for a near fall. And then Ricky went for a sung suplex off the top rope on Darby, but Darby countered and landed a top rope scorpion death drop or an avalanche scorpion death drop. Broken up by Christian for near fall. So, referee was 10 to CM Punk and Christian. No single source. Darby went for a coffin drop again, but Luchasaurus cropped him on the top rope. So Sarks went for the Rochambeau again. Darby countered into a jackknife cover, but Sarks rolled through with a cradle, and then used the ropes 1, 2, 3, and Rick Sarks and Christian get the victory in this tag match in the main event. For the second week in a row, Starks in the main event wins with a hand on the ropes, and Punk is surprised. But, again, if they're pushing Starks, then all for it. Because he deserves to be. Punk, again, the crowd reactions are weird, but see how they go going forward. And decision they do decide to make, but we'll see. But anyways, guys, that's the end of Collision. That was how the show went off the air. Before we get out, if you guys like this video, click that like button, subscribe. Guys, know the gist. But yeah, guys, see you later this week for Dynamite review and then Collision. So keep that in mind. But adios. Peace.